Okay, we're back with Excel Module 2, Video 2. We just finished calculating the percentages in column E, changed them to a percent, and then added the decimal places here up at the top using the add, increase or decrease decimal buttons. Now what we need to do, it's asking us to format the range in B6 through D9 with the accounting style. I'm going to go ahead and highlight B6 all the way over to D9. And the accounting style number format is the one that adds the dollar signs to make it currency. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. If this happens to you when you add a specific format and you get the pound signs or the hashtags in your cell, that just means the number is now too long to fit in the cell. So we need to resize column C to adjust it to make it a little bit wider. So when you make it a little bit wider, then the number will appear. We need to format cell A4 with the title cell style. So I'm going to click on A4, and there are lots of different cell styles that you can add, and cell styles are just specific formats. So there's a button that you're going to click for cell styles. It's on the Home tab in the Styles group. If you click the down arrow to expand the box, you can see all of the options that you have for cell styles. So you can have different shading colors to cells, like add different colors of shading. You can make them a title, which is what we're going to do for this, or a total. Like if you have a row in your table that is displaying totals, you can add the total cell style, which makes it bold and adds a couple of borders to it. Headings, add different sizes. So this is really kind of cool, actually, how you can add specific formats. If it's a calculation in the cell, like if you actually did a calculation, like a formula, you could make those cells this orange color. It's called the calculation cell style. So that way the person reading it then knows that there was a calculation performed in that column or row. If you wanted to highlight as good, bad, or neutral as far as numbers go, you could highlight specific numbers and make them bad. So it would draw people's attention to those, whether they're negative numbers or just overall low numbers in a range of data. So whenever it says to assign a cell style, you're going to go here. This one asks us to assign the title cell style. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then we're going to go to range A5 through E5. So I'm going to highlight A5 all the way over to E5. And it asks us to add the heading 3 cell style. So I'm going to go back to the same box and select heading 3. Then we're going to format the range A9 to E9 with the total cell style. So that's the total row down here. We're going to highlight that and add the total cell style to that one. Now we're going to move down to the next table right here down below, the second section that starts in A11, and we are going to complete some calculations for the sales by product table using the same information from the chart below down here that we used. So now instead of doing sections like such as decorative or living, now we're going to do specific types of furniture. We're going to total up the specific types of furniture. So the first one is going to be home decoration for the current year. So I'm going to add up in the home decoration. I'm going to start with C31 and I'll go all the way over to the end of the year, which would be, I don't even know how far over it goes. It's going to be like N31 is kind of what we're going to add together here. So I'm going to use the auto sum function for this again, because whenever we add up a large group of cells, we want to use the function instead of just a formula. Instead of just adding an addition formula, there's a lot of cells to add together. So it would be like C31 plus D31 plus E31 plus F31 plus G31 all the way over to N. That would make the formula so long. Lots of chance for error when you do that. So that's why we use functions, because they're just a little bit quicker, takes up less space and less time for error. I could have also, instead of just typing in the formula here like I did, I typed in the range of cells. You could have also highlighted that range of cells that you wanted to add, and it would put it in just like what you see there. When you're done, you hit enter to make the calculation. And now we're going to go to copy that formula into the ranges B14 through B26. So remember how you copy a formula, you use the fill handle, which is the little green square in the bottom corner. You click on, hover over it until it turns to a black T or cross, and then you drag that black T down. Oops, I unclicked. Let me do it one more time. All the way down to the totals. I'm going to do that one more time because I'm thinking it shouldn't say 0. There we go. Okay, so now for this total, I want to add a sum function, auto sum function, and I want to add up all of the numbers above it. So I'm going to just click auto sum. Usually it will estimate or make a guess of what you want to add up by putting these little, I call them dancing ants, around the range of cells that you want to add together. If that looks correct, then you can just hit enter, which it does. But if it wasn't correct or you wanted to exclude a specific cell from this sum, then you would just edit the formula right here by clicking in the box, and you can edit it, and then you hit enter, and there is our total. Another thing I want to talk about with the fill handle is you can not only drag vertically down, but you can also drag to the right or to the left. So if I wanted to find the total of the previous year, I could just grab the fill handle from the current year and drag it over to the right, and then it would fill in the total for the previous year as well. So now we're in cell D. So we're going to go to D13 here, and we are going to calculate the difference between B13 and C13. So it's very similar to what we did up above when I calculated a subtraction formula B6 minus C6. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start with an equal sign, but instead I'm going to do B13 minus C13 and then hit enter on that one. Remember, all formulas have to start with an equal sign, and then you can use your fill handle to copy that formula all the way down as well. The percent change is very similar to what we did up above. We're going to divide the value in D3 by the value in C3. So I'm 13, sorry, I left out a number, D13 by C13. So I'm going to start with an equal sign, and then I'm going to click on D13. You could also type it, just make sure you don't make a typo. And then divide is the slash, and then I'm going to click on C13, and once you have the formula entered, you can hit enter, and then again use your fill handle to drag that one down to copy the formula, and then we're going to need to change it to a percentage. All right, also we're going to go ahead and highlight B13 all the way down to D27 and make that accounting style like we did up above. If for some reason, remember, you get the hashtags or the pound signs, that just means that the number is too long to fit in the cell, so you need to expand the box just a little bit, make the column a little bit wider, resize it. Now we're going to use Format Painter, which is a command that we used in Microsoft Word to copy these formats that we did up above here to the table down below. So the first thing we did is in A4, we added the title style. So I'm going to click in A4, then I'm going to click my Format Painter command, and then I'm going to paintbrush over A11. And then let go, and it should copy those formats for you. Same with A5 through E5. I'm going to highlight A5 through E5, click on my Format Painter command, which is on the Home tab, and then I'm going to highlight over or paintbrush over A12 through E12, and then let go. And then the last one is the totals row. It's A9 through E9. I'm going to highlight that, click Format Painter, and then do the same thing for A27, that totals row through E27, and then let go, and it adds that format to it. All right. Now we are going to learn about something called conditional formatting. And what conditional formatting does, it's just a command that allows you to analyze data and look at it in different lights. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with conditional formatting. It shows you, in fact, let me just go to the command. So the command is on the Home tab. It's called conditional formatting. It's in the Styles group. If you click the drop-down arrow, you can see some different options that you have with conditional formatting. One that I really like is the top one that says highlight cell rules, because what it will do is it will show you specific numbers that are greater than a number that you tell it. So if you wanted to see products that were doing really well over the course of the year, then you would highlight all of the numbers and then go to conditional formatting and say, I want it to show me any product that's greater than 50,000, that's making gross sales of more than $50,000 in a month. And it would highlight those for you. So sometimes when you see data and a lot of numbers in one place, it's really hard to analyze or see trends in numbers. And that's what conditional formatting allows you to do. It allows you to see trends in numbers. If you look at top bottom rules, it would highlight items that are in the top 10% of sales, or the bottom 10%, or just the top 10 or bottom 10 items overall. What are your least performing items, that kind of thing. You can also add data bars, which these are kind of cool as well. Data bars are basically like little bar graphs within a cell. So the bigger the number in that cell, the longer the data bar is that would fill the cell. So it's a visual representation of the number is kind of how I like to show it. So it adds another element. It's a visual way to look at the numbers. So you know numbers that have more color, right? The bar is across more is a larger number than one that has a smaller bar within the cell. So, and you can kind of pick the gradient, which is kind of like a faded look or a solid fill within the cell, just some different formatting options with that. So we won't use all of these conditional formats. You can also set your own conditional formatting rules as well by clicking on New Rule. If you do a conditional formatting and then you're finished with it, like you're not printing it or sending it off to someone with the conditional formatting, you're just doing it for yourself, then you could clear the conditional formatting after you're finished with it. So really, a lot of things that you need that's related to conditional formatting can be found in this dropdown. So if you notice in the book or in the project that it's asking you to assign a conditional format, this is where you're going to go to do that. Okay, so the book is asking us to add some conditional formatting to what's called the non-adjacent range. So D6 through E9. So let me go up here. D6 through E9. So it's the net change. We're going to highlight that. And then it's also asking us to highlight another column that's not next to column D. So if I want to highlight two columns that are not next to each other, that's what the word non-adjacent means, that they're not next to each other. Then what I need to do is I need to highlight the first set that it's asking. Then if you hold down Control on your keyboard, it will allow you to highlight a second range of cells that are not near each other. So D13 through E27 is the next thing that it's asking us. I'm going to scroll down here to D13 and I'm going to hold down Control and I'm going to highlight all the way to E27 is what it says. So that's down here. So see how I have these two sections of text highlighted, but they're not near each other. And that's what Control does. It allows you to highlight non-adjacent cell range. So you highlight the first cell range, then you hold down Control on your keyboard, and then you highlight the second cell range. And now I can do some conditional formatting to both of these highlighted sections without having to do them separately because I was able to highlight them at the same time. So it removes a step, basically. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to, in red font on a light red background, highlight sales categories and products that show a decrease in sales from the previous year. So this is how we're going to do that. And I may have to pause this video and come back and do this because I think I might run out of time. In fact, I'm going to stop at this point, and we will pick up right at this step in the next video so I don't run out of time.